Loading.
All right, I
That's
believe
new.
it says we're live, so I'm going to pretend we're live.
Oh my god, we're live.
Okay, here we go. Hey, welcome to Pucknology After Dark. I am your host on this fine evening, Ian, the Maple Masher Reed. Just so you know, we won tonight by a score of a bajillion to 1. And yeah, I mean, here we are. This is going to be completely screwed up because we don't have like regular hosts here, and it's just me. So, okay, let's go.
It's just it's the irregular host.
It's the irregular host. This is like the Pucknology E team.
Tonight's Pucknology After Dark brought to you by Metamucil. Don't be irregular.
All right, this is the E team, so we're gonna rock this though. Let's talk to the panel first. So here on Pucknology After Dark with us tonight is from Teal Tinted Glasses, the lovely Rocket Backhander.
Hello, y'all. How you doing? Rocket Backhander reporting for duty.
And on my next little box to the left, I have Mr. Felix Chow, .NET writer from Pucknology.net.
What's up, guys? And
finally, on the box to my farthest left, we have our newest contributor here at Pucknology, Drew Weber.
What's up, everyone? Joe Pavelski for president.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so what did you guys think of the game so far? I guess I'll go to Rocket first.
My goodness, I was saying, my first thought was, what happened to Nashville? This Sharks team has basically shown through as the team that we've all watched them be all year. So their performance tonight isn't necessarily surprising. It was clean. It was something to be proud of. Oh man, some beautiful goals by Pavelski and Karlsson at the very end there. That was a nice one too. But like my attention was just drawn onto how much poor Nashville's play was. So I think they're jet lagged. Maybe somebody got to their hotel and put something in their sweet tea. Who knows? But whatever happened, the hockey gods are with us tonight. Yay!
Drew, what do you think?
I thought it was great. I think this is the game that the Sharks need to play after losing in triple overtime on Thursday. And they came out strong. DeBoer made some changes to the lineup, which I was skeptical of at first, but hell, it panned out. So I was very happy with the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Felix, what are your thoughts the initial thoughts on the game?
I thought it was great. Sharks obviously came out strong. They they had to win this game obviously, and they did. And what a great effort all around.
Absolutely. Chester Chivo already hammering me on Twitter.
Jeez.
I read Pucknology, hosting Pucknology After Dark. Was Carson Daly busy?
Yeah.
Probably.
Carson Daly's
I
a
work
Kings
for
fan.
cheap. I work for cheap. That's what I'm going to say. All right, joining us from the tank now is our Lord and Master and my teddy bear. We have, it looks like, Erik Kuhre and Jentry Alexander, so I will let them have their say.
Hi guys, we're just trying to get this set up so Jentry can hear you guys. This place is rocking, and good evening to you all. Oh, Rocket, you look lovely. Felix, also. Drew, love it, guys. Holy cow. This place is rocking ever since that first goal by Patrick Marleau. I mean, we're not even 5-10 minutes over, and this place is still going crazy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is the best game I think that the Sharks have played this playoff series against them. They held them down. They didn't let them get much, and
Wait a minute. Let me just get a view of this. There you go.
Wow.
Look at that.
Jeez.
But we're not a hockey town or anything, right?
No.
We're not as loud as Nashville or anything.
oh, good God, no.
But kind of going over the game actually now. Patrick Marleau had a great game.
Yeah, his best game of the playoffs so far. I think he played a full 60 minutes. Good God, he was on just fire tonight. 2 points, a goal and an assist. But I think you got to give it to the number one star, and that's, of course, is going to be the captain, Joe Pavelski. What a sagacious pass from Thornton, and what a finish from Pap. Wow.
Yeah.
And it is bedlam at the Shark Tank right now.
I mean, we're going on 10 minutes after the game, and it's still going nuts.
That's
Martin
insane.
Jones had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Eric, how
Martin
was the
Jones
energy
had a-
before the game started?
Oh, you know what? I don't think I've seen as many butts in the seats for warm-ups and that we did here tonight. I mean, it
Wow.
was definitely loud.
Jeez,
You had
wow.
three.
It was an actual sellout tonight. You got the Sharks fans showed up, and wow, they made a difference.
Definitely.
They were loud.
Good deal.
Four, I would say,
Nice.
four rows deep into, and there's Kurt from Teal City Crew.
Hi, Kurt.
What up?
Four deep for warm-ups. I mean, Rocket, you know very well that rarely happens.
Yep.
But the crowd was into it from the get-go. When they were lowering the shark head and everything, it was just insane. But Martin Jones, absolutely awesome tonight. You had Joe Thornton play, again, you had the great pass.
Yeah.
Defense played really good. It was kind of underscored. They had the PK was awesome tonight. Power play got going when they were allowed to.
You know, the thing that really surprised me most about this game is the fact that Joe Pavelski scored 2 goals, including a game winner, and they actually counted.
Absolutely, that's the important part, is that they actually counted them. You know, they didn't touch Rene, so that's the important part.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I know the coolest game is supposed to be at Silver Creek Sportsplex on Monday. I guarantee you, if they were to move it inside the Shark Tank on Monday night, this place would be full. And with that,
Yeah.
I'm going to have no voice tomorrow,
Yeah.
so I'll hand it off to you guys. Rocket and Drew, Felix, I'm glad you got to hear some of the craziness in here tonight.
Yeah,
I'll
guys,
send it to
have
you.
an absolute great show. Oh, you guys are going to have a lot to talk about. It's not going to be, Goalgate like it was last time, so kick ass tonight, guys.
And most importantly, Landy, have a great birthday when you see
Yes.
us.
Yeah. Woo! Oh.
That energy just intense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
especially because you
Wow.
don't understand. Usually, like 10 minutes after the blue coats, like they walk through the building and are like, "All right, get out." So usually, like we're all conditioned to just leave immediately and go to SAP or excuse me, down to San Pedro Square or wherever else that's near downtown San Jose, just anywhere but SAP. So for there to be that many people lingering and celebrating is really unusual. It's nice. It's definitely nice.
I was
Yeah,
surprised
absolutely.
for that many people there for warm-ups, considering the 7 o'clock start. Usually that throws people off when people start showing up late.
Yeah.
No, and also I do want to comment on that, saying that it's I think it's great that us fans have finally have something to actually cheer about again, not just be all grumbling and complaining about attendance issues and all that. It's I think it's great.
Yeah, I was really nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like, even though obviously I'm not local, so I don't really have a dog in the fight from that perspective, I was surprised because I thought, after those 2 games in Nashville, I'm like, those tickets aren't going to sell. But maybe it's a perfect storm of, like, people not snapping them up right away and getting them for cheaper. But, I mean, it was nice to see the Tank and nice to hear the Tank be full because the Tank used to be the loudest arena in the NHL. And it really frankly pissed me off that, Nashville was definitely in game 3 and 4 before tonight. They were the louder arena in this series. And that's just, to me, it's unacceptable because the Shark Tank is just like, it's partially like because of the way it's built, the, nice low roof, and just blow the top off of it. But, Nashville, I'll give Nashville fans credit, man. They were loud when the series went back to their home when they were down two games to none. So it's nice to see that when with the Nashville Predators coming back up, getting two big wins in Nashville, that Shark fans are up to the task to really hammer home and be that excited bunch. So let's talk about let's kind of go over the first period a little bit. Obviously, we got that nice quick goal by Marleau, and then you got like the Pavelski goal. Like, you guys have any thoughts specifically on that? I guess I'll start with Drew this time.
I'm trying. There's so many goals. I'm trying to remember which one was which. The Marleau goal was. Oh, that was one that's right. The Marleau goal. I think you almost give that goal to Jonas Donskoy because he worked hard along the boards, bringing it down behind the net, and then slipping that nice, sweet. It's a soft pass, but it got there, but right onto Marleau's stick so he could bury it. It was It was beautiful. I give Donskoy more credit on that goal maybe than I do to Marleau. Nothing against Marleau, though.
No, I agree with you. Felix.
Yeah, I agree. I think Donskoy had a hell of a game tonight, and but I do want to comment on the Pavelski goal. What a freaking pass by Joe Thornton.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. It's not even fair. Like it just Joe Thornton, like he just denies the laws of physics, and I'm glad that he kind of did that because, going into this game, you started to hear the rumblings. Where's Thornton? Where's Marleau? And they're right there clearly. Thornton didn't put the puck in the net, but he did what he's supposed to do, which is, be the greatest playmaker probably of this generation. Rocket.
The Marleau goal. Number one, damn, Patty, way to find that damn. The Donskoy's little sneaky pass there was really, really dangerous. And when I first saw that, I kind of flipped out a little bit because I was like, oh my god. But then Marleau actually got a hold of it, which really surprised the hell out of me. And before I could kind of settle my emotions, he had scored a goal, and then I completely, I had to go put on a different teal outfit. And hey, I was surprised and elated. And, God, all of these guys get paid the big bucks for a reason. They're amazing at what they do. So in the end, it really comes down to chance for stuff like that. It was a great little chance that rolled our way.
All right,
hey,
and
it's birthday
boy.
What's up? What's up? Happy birthday!
We are joined
Happy
by the
drunk
birthday
birthday.
boy himself,
Happy birthday, Landy.
master of the laundry, Erik Landi.
Hey, you know what? The Sharks pull it out for my birthday. You can't believe it, but the laundry has done it again.
Yeah.
You are.
That's on this morning.
Yeah, you're currently. If you hear anything in the background, you're listening to Landy's party, so he's only going to be on for a few minutes. But I did want to say, boy, the guys pulled it together tonight. The big boys stepped up. You had Pavelski, you had Couture really leading the way. Marleau, Mr. Invisible, came through tonight, and boy, did Danis Zubris look like he had some fresh legs. Looked really good for the Sharks tonight.
I love that
guys,
guy.
We all talked about it. We said this Game 5 is going to be pivotal, and that really, 75% of Game 5 winners go on to win the series, and it really was a good bounce back from a real big heartbreaker. Sharks in the past, you know what? They probably would have given this one up. They would have said, hey, you know what? Good game, but we went triple overtime. We're going to lay over, but not this team. And like I said before, if they won this game tonight, they're a different team. If not, it was the same old, same old. But they pulled it through. Somehow, some way, they did it. And, I was cooking in the background, and I had the friends in the background, but still had my Sharks game on. We were still all rooting them on, and, boy, they looked energetic tonight. They just that team did not look like a team that came out of a triple overtime game.
No, not at all.
They ran over Nashville, and I love that goal by Carlson in the dying minutes. Carlson, he said, "Screw it. You know what? We're going to put the dagger through this team," and they did. And you know what? Momentum clearly back in the Sharks court again, and looking good for the guys.
Wow.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything, more or better than that. Just all around awesome.
That was a dominant performance. That was reminiscent of that Game 5 game against LA, where they just said, you know what, we're putting the hammer down in that third period, and they came back and they did it again. And boy, as much as we want to really dump on this team sometimes, they really did pull it through, and they're showing me that they're a different team. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's actually happening before our eyes. This team is morphing, and hopefully,
like the Power Rangers?
Yeah, like the Power Rangers. Like the Power Rangers. So you know what? It was, you couldn't ask for a better game tonight from the boys. They all played really well. Martin Jones was standing on his head. Rebound control was really good by him. The defensive structure, it looked night and day. night and day from that game in Nashville and the games in Nashville. They fed off the energy of that crowd. I mean, you could hear the chants coming through the TV. I mean, that crowd was energetic. I don't know if you boys talked to Puck Guy and the crew from the tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I could hear it through the TV, man. It was a raucous crowd, and it was great to see everybody in San Jose show up for the boys in teal. Really, you know what? Like I said before, I was just looking in here and there, and I was yelling in the middle of my party, and people were just kind of looking at me like, "What the hell is he doing?" But
Like, it's my birthday. Woo!
exactly. But you know what? Like I said before, their energy level came through even from a casual glance, and that was a fun game to watch if you're a Sharks fan. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
A lot less of a I need a bag to breathe into than last night, for sure. Than the day before yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where you felt like your blood pressure rose like 20 points on each section.
It was just bad. Like being in a Hitchcock film. It was just bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, 'cause after Game 4, like, honestly, I'm just like, I was so angry because I'm just like, finally get behind you and I finally believe in you. Do this to me. You do this to me again.
Yeah.
And I was so angry because I'm like, you finally sucked me back in, and then you do this.
That's
The
so
angry
sharp.
Canadian strikes again.
After Game 4, like, I couldn't watch hockey. I couldn't go on Twitter because I didn't want to think of hockey because I was so pissed after that 3 OT loss. And then they came out and they do this and they're like, all right, this team's good
All right.
again.
I'm good. I know. I'm like, do I really want to watch hockey today? Like, that's how pissed off I was.
Well, you know
like,
what maybe happened is like the Sharks sat in their dressing room or whatever it is. Maybe they went to McDonald's and had a Happy Meal together and sat in the ball pit. I don't know. Whatever it is that they do. Then they said, you know what? We just played 6 periods of overtime hockey, the second longest game that this franchise has ever played. Are you okay? Yeah. How do you feel? I'm kind of tired, but I'm a little sore. I'm all right though. How do you feel? I need some pizza, but a nap, and I'm okay.
Let's.
And then they realize that they're okay, and they're like, oh my God, we're a lot better than we realized we were. Hey, let's remember this. You're like, okay, we're a lot better than we thought we were. Cool. So maybe that's kind of what this took. Like they really had to push themselves to see where their limits were, and once they realized that they actually have a lot of endurance as compared to a lot of other teams out there, maybe they begin to believe their own little teal Kool-Aid too. Hey, why not?
Hey, well, I mean, when you've got Shea Weber running out there for like an entire game's worth of minutes, and you've got the guy with the largest amount of minutes on our team was 45, that's really where the depth comes in, and where honestly, in a long drawn-out series, that can really be the equalizer, is that depth that you have, that you can roll every single defense pair and not have too big of a drop-off. I mean, of course, you have the Dylan Pollock pairing, which can be suspect at times, but they play pretty well tonight.
I like those guys.
And of course, you can always count on the Braun Vlasic pairing for some awesome minutes. And Bernsey, his defensive game has totally shifted in these playoffs. I mean, he does not look like the same player we saw at the very beginning of the year, who was just making those same mistakes over and over and over again. It's just Paul Martin's really quieted his game down, and he's taking it up another level in these playoffs. But guys, you know what? Let's talk really quick, and gals, but let's really talk about.
Hey, this is California. Everybody's guys.
About that injection on the third and fourth lines at times was Dana Subras. I mean, you take a guy that's been sitting in the bullpen, been warming up, and not a drop off at all. If anything, he actually looked better than Wingles, and Wingles wasn't having a bad series. It wasn't bad. But you could definitely see that maybe he had some extra gas that he could expend, but he wasn't expending. Subras, boy, it just seems like every single shift he was putting the effort in, really tough on the forecheck. I mean, Peter DeBoer's pulling all the levers, and he's getting the max out of his team, and I was interested to see that lineup change tonight, and it paid dividends. And yeah, just a different overall feel from this team. It felt like they were in control the whole game, and they weren't letting the Predators come back in. No way, no how. Even after that tying goal.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, we should probably talk about that a little bit. Was the lineup with obviously Zubris coming in for Wingles, and the thing that I didn't realize until I started looking at the numbers is Wingles has been coming in with the lowest time on ice like pretty much the entire series, which kind of frustrates me because like Tommy Wingles is a guy that and I know I've said this on Twitter a lot. This is kind of my new Twitter thing. I've totally turned on Wingles, but this is a guy that I think should be counted on for 20 at least 20 goals. I think he should be a 20 goal scorer at this point. And I like the way he bangs. Don't get me wrong, but you can find someone to bang, and you don't have to pay them, 2.5 or 2.75 or whatever it is Wingles makes, to fill that role. So I was happy to see Zubris come in, and Zubris, this is really smart because Zubris coming in, like Zubris has been here before. He knows how to win in the playoffs. He's been on, teams that have done well in the playoffs. He was on Peter DeBoer's Devils team that, went to the Stanley Cup final against LA. So this is a guy who knows how to win, and he knows how to be a good player. He knows how to make smart plays in tough situations. So honestly, I wouldn't be sad if I didn't see Wingles again this playoff.
I agree. Zubris has been good this entire season. I mean, he used to be that legitimate top six forward, when he was younger, and he may not have the physical skills anymore, but he still has that hockey knowledge, and he plays basically mistake-free. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the big part of his game is, like, he's this big body who isn't going to make mistakes and who's going to grind it out for you and play those tough minutes. That's why I really liked him.
So you know who else clocked in with some great ice time tonight? Our young boy from the Czech Republic, Thomas Hertl, with 17 minutes leading all forwards tonight. It's been a thing of great joy to see him morph into the player that he has become, and we're seeing a great power forward blossom in front of our eyes, guys, in this playoff run. Mm-hmm. Boy, I cannot say how happy I am that he's bounced back from that horrific injury and playing like he has not missed a beat. And I mean, you look on the back end tonight. Burns, he only logs 23 minutes. You have really even distribution across the whole board. This is what's going to win the Sharks series, is this even distribution across all of the iced skaters tonight. When you've got Hertl leading your forward core with 17 minutes, and that's the only one that really touched any high minutes. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, the guy who logged the least amount of minutes was Zubris and Carlson with 11-25 and 11-12 respectively, and that kind of depth is something we haven't seen from the Sharks team in a very long time.
Well, not in a long time. You're talking like when you had like Nickel and Malhotra down the middle to round out your bottom six.
Exactly. So this is the kind of stuff that
no.
So it's kind of interesting because the Predators kind of parallel the Sharks of old, where they had 2 or 3 really dominant lines in their forward core, and they had a great back end, and then you had a wall in the back, but you really didn't have the trustworthy fourth line or the trustworthy third pair, and they were really reliant upon their top end guys. It seems like in the playoffs, it's really about how much depth you have, and we saw it with the Blackhawks. I mean, to some extent. Their 4 lines were really good. Of course, they only played 4 defensemen going down the pike. But really, I mean, it's those balanced lines, those balanced minutes. It's really going to win the day. And I love that DeBoer is sticking to rolling his 4 lines, even when the game was tied. Still rolling all 4 lines. Still putting Tierney out there. Still put in Carlson and Zubris. So just awesome to see. Really awesome.
And you do make a great point on the whole depth thing, and that's definitely what gets you deep in the playoffs. Obviously, this team isn't like one superstar carrying a whole team. It's not like that anymore. It's you have to roll 4 lines. It's everyone's got to be contributing, and that's what we saw.
But we did see the stars shine bright tonight, which was awesome to see.
Yes, that's
You had
definitely,
your
yeah.
turn.
Now to kind of add on to that bottom six thing, what I think the goal of our bottom six has been this series is that they're not necessarily going out there and scoring. They're not necessarily going out there and playing fantastic offensive hockey, but they are doing a great job of suppressing scoring chances. The line of Tierney, Ward, and Nieto, they're like a -10 Corsi differential. So they were, in terms of possession, they're getting killed out there. But I don't remember a time when they were on the ice and I was worried that the Predators were going to score. I think they did a great job of keeping everything to the outside, and I think that's where they're making an impact on the series, is playing defense as opposed to really dominating offensively.
Yeah.
And just to tack on to Drew's point really quick, tonight we saw that the Sharks were really keeping everything to the perimeters, and their defense was not turning their backs. You saw the play of the defensemen really keeping all of the play in front of them. So there wasn't a lot of behind-the-net chances from the Predators where they would kind of get in behind the defenseman, really crash the slot, and get those plays right in front of the slot. You weren't seeing that tonight. Jonesy was seeing everything. I mean, the guys were moving out of the way and parting so he could see those big bombs. I like that because you know what? The goaltender has got way more padding, can take a Shea Weber 104-mile-an-hour slap shot way better than Logan Couture's ankle can. So, so it was good to see.
Anything to add, Rocket? Yep.
No, everything's great. Woo!
Go ahead.
For one very small aside, I would just like to point out how adorable it is that Landy's got a party going on for his birthday, and he's in here on the internet with us fools looking up stats on the internet. This speaks more about what really tickles Landy's little heart than it does anything else. So cheers to Landy for being such a huge part of Pucknology After Dark. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you everybody, and thank you from everybody on Twitter. It was really nice to see everybody from Facebook and Twitter really comment and present. I mean, I loved Laurel's little graphic she put together, and I had some friends I hadn't talked to in a while. He's like, "Oh man, he looks like Jon Snow from Game of Thrones." And it was really awesome the support that everybody was giving me, and it's been a real blessing to be on this podcast with everybody and be connected with such great people. I mean, everybody from Pucknology.net, everybody from Teal Tinted, everybody from Pucknology After Dark. It's a great big family. I'm glad we have it together, and glad that we are attracting some great talent. Drew, of course, just signing on with us and getting some great articles on the board. And you know what? This thing is only getting bigger, and the tide is only going to get bigger and stronger, and I'm just so happy for everybody and happy where we're coming from. So hats off to you guys and ladies as well. Just been awesome to be a part of this thing. Guys, I mean, my first professional game ever to watch was a Sharks game in 1994. I was all of 3 years old. My mom bought me a hockey jersey, and I have it sitting in.
Oh my God!
Sitting in a
reaction.
Sitting in a shadow box with its ketchup stain from when I got my first set of garlic fries, and this team is it represents part of who I am, because of course I live in SoCal, but I rep my teal everywhere because it's a part of me. It's something that my family all bonds upon, and we bleed teal, and I love this team so much. And if I seem like I do shit on this team, it's because I care so much, and I love everybody that I've been a part of this ride with, and I hope we continue. You know what? This team, I said it the year that the Giants won the World Series, but that team had a special feeling to it. It had that special chemistry. This team has that same kind of aura and same kind of feeling around it. And you know what? We've got one more game to close out, but I have a good feeling about this team, guys, and I think it's going to be a good run. This team and this game tonight showed me a lot. Showed me how much character that they've built up from those terrible years, from years of heartbreak. And I think it's a little different now. So I'm gonna sign off, but I love all you guys and gals, and thank you for letting me ramble on a little bit and continue the great work. And for Landy, I'm going to be signing it off, and I'm going to be handing it to Ian.
Outstanding.
Good night, guys, and good night, Twitter Sphere and YouTube chat. Love you guys too. Everybody has been so awesome. So thank you.
Happy birthday, Landy.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, man.
Landy. All right, and we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna just, I guess, chime in on the depth because I didn't really get a chance there as I was passing it around the room. My thoughts on the depth. I mean, I'm curious to see if they keep these lines together. What happens when they go back to Nashville? Because I think a big part of the Sharks' success at home has been controlling the matchups, because obviously the Sharks get last change, and I'm curious to see if they can keep Zubers in the lineup, if they can still start winning more of the matchups, because you've one thing you can see where the last change has really had an effect is that the home team has won the faceoffs. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sorry, the chat's killing me right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when it goes back to Nashville if they do keep Zubers in the lineup, which I think they should, because I thought that, coming into this game, I was kind of worried because I thought, okay, they're gonna leave. I was happy they left Spalling in. For one, I want to get that out of the way. Keeping Spalling in was definitely a good move. His penalty killing's been good, and other than earlier on in the game, it was earlier on in the series or in the playoffs. He's been really good ever since that one game where he kind of just had a penalty parade. Other than that, though, I mean, the other concern I had was Kearney at third line center. I thought that maybe, that might hurt the face-off situation a little more. But, again, so far so good. The key is going to be, can they keep that up and, keep that play up in Nashville? Because Nashville's not going to just roll over for the Sharks next game. There's just, I don't see it. Someone? Anyone?
Yeah, but I think the next game is really going to be crucial, and obviously, like you said, Nashville's not going to sit back. They're going to want to try to pound on all cylinders, and Sharks just got to keep doing what they did tonight, and hopefully that happens.
I'm curious to see what this game is going to do to the Nashville fans.
Yeah, I was just thinking
because if I could be wrong on this, but this is Nashville's first time in round 2, right?
Yeah, no, they've been to round 2 before.
Okay,
they just haven't advanced.
But those games in San Jose, particularly game 2, like Nashville was almost in that game before Pavelski scored. So you have reason to be optimistic about that team when they come back home. And now you finally tie this series up, you go into San Jose and you lay an egg. I mean, how are you going to feel as a Nashville fan, and how is that going to reflect to how loud the arena is going to be?
Yeah, Nashville's been a good arena most of the playoffs, though. I think they'll be fine. I think in the arena they'll be fine. I'm curious to read some of the Nashville blogs tomorrow and see where they're at. I'm curious to see what they say on the forecheck tomorrow about the game, because I think that's going to be pretty interesting. But I feel like their fans are still going to be good.
They're still going to go through the Reader's Digest and pick out some damn story in the middle about going to IKEA and putting together furniture with absolutely no English whatsoever. They're going to put it in chant form that lasts for 6 minutes. They're going to get it all together before then, and they're going to sit there and chant through it. And with their that's how they do it. They're going to pack it in and be desperate with their chanting that goes on for 10 minutes at a time. Nashville, they don't even care about. They're not going to read the Nashville blogs. They're people who show up at that seats are there for the rally towel, the expensive beer, and out cheer the other teams that they saw on television. That's all those people care about. I guarantee it.
And country music.
Country music.
Carrie Underwood sing the national anthem. Woo!
Oh man, just The hate. So another thing I thought was important tonight was how the Sharks came back from that goal, because Nashville tied it up, and I didn't really like the goal that they tied it up on before the game just got away from them completely.
Sure.
I didn't really like the way that they I really didn't like Braun on that play. And I know the defense has been, for the most part, pretty good, but when the defense has been bad, it's been surprisingly not Dylan and Pollock that have been the issue to me. It's been actually Vlasic and Braun. And I feel like Braun, Vlasic has had to overcompensate for Braun a little bit on occasions, and I thought that goal was another example of that. I'm curious if one of them are banged up.
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, with the kind of minutes they play, especially against LA, those big bodies, they're taking hits, they're blocking shots. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them has a pretty decent injury right now.
Rocket?
Last I heard, Vlasic has a prosthetic limb. They won't tell us if it's upper or lower body. All they say is a prosthetic limb injury. And also that he's missing a kidney, but they won't say left or right.
Oh, man, I wish I was missing. True.
I'm sorry, what?
Actually, no, Felix, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I already answered that question.
But, yeah, I mean, you may have a decent point there, but, I mean, while that pairing has had some, mistakes here and there, at the very least, Vlasic's not out, At the very least, we can thank the hockey gods that, Marc-Edouard Vlasic is, still playing, in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. When he took that puck to the face, I was scared because I was like, we cannot afford to lose our top defenseman again, because look how that turned out last time.
Yeah, I know.
You want to talk about, so when Logan grabbed his left leg and went off the ice,
jeez,
stopped and started screaming down the hallway, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh Jesus God, no, please no. But he did a very Logan thing and ended up back on the bench. I guarantee you he's got a torn ACL or something. But
he blocked a shot too after that.
Oh God. God, that guy, man. He's such an overachiever.
You pay a price, to win in the playoffs, and that's what these guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's I guess let's get some final thoughts on this game before we move on to a couple of other topics before we go to sleep at some point tonight, maybe. I don't know, maybe we'll just do this forever and
why not?
Yeah.
Pull an all-nighter. First ever PAD all-nighter.
This is what happens when you let Ian host the show.
So like two writers on the show.
That's right. So Jen, final thoughts on the show.
Yeah, Rocket. Hi. Final thoughts. I thought that the Sharks did really well, and I think that if they continue to remember that they are great, that they are an amazing roster, not only in the spectrum of this particular franchise, but in the NHL right now. If they start to buy into themselves a little bit more, just a little bit, not too much, I think that's going to carry them through this series and well into the next round. I have a lot of faith in these guys.
I think this. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. See what happens when I don't direct round?
No, but a couple of things. So I do agree. They do. I think that they have the momentum to carry into the next game, and just basically keep, like I said, keep doing what they're doing, and a few things. Pavelski for president, I'm sure that's already been said, but also hashtag fun must be always.
Absolutely. Drew.
I think this game was, like I said, exactly what the team needed. Bring that momentum into Game 6 with all your confidence, and I think we can close this game out, or this series out, on Monday.
Yeah, I mean,
17 Pavelski.
Yes.
NHL 17 Pavelski.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait till that's over. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so sick of it. I know it makes me a terrible
on.
fan. It's just like my poor Twitter timeline, especially like during games. I'm just like, no, not now.
I only do it like, okay, so like that last game I was really, really nervous. It was a really, really anxious game. That whole game was anxious. All 6 periods. So I didn't know what I was supposed to do with that anxious energy. So I just started making up NHL Pavelski tweets. Just really
Nice.
random stuff and tweeting them throughout the game because I didn't. So I'm sorry that I bombarded your Twitter feed with that, but I was
No,
just.
it's not. You see, it's not even that. It's when you have like just blocks of the hashtag eating my Twitter timeline. That's what makes me angry. I'm fine with like the random tweet. I think I had like the one with like the Jehovah Witnesses in the picture, and it was like, "Can I tell you about our Lord and Savior, Joe Pavelski?"
NHL 17.
Yeah, I
But,
photoshopped a Pavelski and Uncle Sam picture. So yeah.
So my final thoughts on the game before I let us get too ridiculously sidetracked here. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly, I'm just pretty much echoing what everyone else said. This is exactly the kind of game that the Sharks needed to come back and really get back into this series. I think that, this game restored a lot of hope. I was really nervous going into this game because I'm just like, oh God, please, not again, not again. Because I'm not going to lie, like after game 4, man, I was having Oiler flashbacks, like from that Oiler series, and that's just not a good place to be in. So I'm really happy that we moved on and picked up the win, and I've got all my confidence back in the team about going back and either finishing this in Nashville, or I'm fine if they have to come back to San Jose to finish it. I'm fine with that too. I'd prefer they didn't because I called it in 6 and I'd love to be correct, but I'll take it. So next topic is Edmonton Oilers prospects, because the chat demanded it. No, it's not.
Thank God.
although Zach, you realize I'm from the Sioux, right? I love Darnell Nurse. I can't help it. I'm from the Sioux. Okay, enough of that. Bruce Boudreau, hired by the Minnesota Wild today. Thoughts, Drew?
I don't know. I don't know why Anaheim felt necessarily the need to fire him in the first place. Now, I know they have the history of, like, all the playoff exits and stuff like that, but you've won, 3 or 4 Pacific Division championships in a row. Right. I'm not sure if you can necessarily pin these playoff failures on the coach, considering your best players aren't stepping up. But, I mean, if you're the Wild, if I'm a Wild fan, I'd be happy. Hell yeah, I'll take Bruce Boudreau.
Felix.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting hire. I think that with Bruce Boudreau, having just a lot of playoff experience, I think that I think this is definitely a good hire for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, I think so too. Rocket, anything on Bruce Boudreau being the new Wild the new coach of the Minnesota Wild?
Well, it's a huge change in climate from Anaheim to Minnesota, so I think that old Brucey boy is probably going to have a little bit better of a time staying, sort of one temperature all the time, like that rink temperature. Maybe the sunny skies and the warmer climate of Southern California were just a bit too overwhelming for his pudgy stature. Congratulations to the Wild for inheriting Bruce, and I hope they have success in the future.
Yeah, I said this on TTG when we were kind of recapping the first round, that I don't know what it is that would actually get the Wild over the hump, but I think that a Bruce Boudreau system would be a huge departure from what they've played thus far, and is that going to be what gets them over the hump? I don't know, but I'm interested to see what happens. I think that, going back to what Drew said, it was interesting when the Ducks fired him, they basically, in that announcement, they also basically went off on the core players of that team. And for a cap team, that's going to be a fascinating team to watch this summer, because they have some RFAs that I frankly don't think they can afford to keep. So I think it's going to be an interesting summer in Anaheim. What else happened today? I don't even know what happened today. Let's talk about the other series today. So we had, 3 games played today. Our game was one of them. We've already discussed it. So Dallas, St. Louis. Who won that game even?
St. Louis, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, St. Louis won. Yeah, St. Louis won. That's right. So the Blues now lead the series 3-2. Honestly, to me, this series has lasted longer than I thought it would. I really thought that I think I called a sweep because I'm an idiot, but I thought this was going to be a much quicker series. I guess I'll start with Rocket. What do you think of this series?
I'm scared of St. Louis, man. Like I don't like them. I don't like us against them this year. So the fact that they are just chewing their way through playoffs is making me very uncomfortable.
Drew.
I'm happy the series is going this long, and I'm happy that Dallas still has a fighting chance, because if we go to the conference finals, I'd much rather play a team that has $10 million of garbage invested in their net than a team that actually has a decent goldtender and pretty good defense. So I'm hoping Dallas can freaking pull it off here and win in 7, so we have like a pretty good chance of getting into the Cup Finals. If we were to play St. Louis, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'd think of that series.
Go ahead, Felix.
Yeah, like you touched on, Ian, I actually thought that the series would already have been over with, but because obviously Dallas has garbage goaltending and their defense isn't that great either, but they do have the offense that that kind of carries them, and so I think that might have been the reason that the series has stretched out for this long. But I definitely would much rather face Dallas next round, but at this point I feel like we will have no choice but to face St. Louis.
Yeah, my thoughts on this series, I think that neither of these teams really scare me. I'm going to be completely honest. Neither of these teams really scare me. I think that the Sharks could beat either one of them. I think that the Sharks played the Blues fine during the regular season, and I think Anaheim's just not built to win a championship. They're a good regular season team. I just don't think they're built for the playoffs. The problem is, though, is we've watched basically one player run roughshod over us in this series with the Predators, and that's Mike Fisher. I don't want to see what Jamie Benn can do if they can't contain Mike Fisher. How the hell are they going to contain Jamie Benn? So I think that's something that obviously would concern me playing the Stars. The other thing, but St. Louis, I mean, they're a more complete team. I think that they could give the Sharks a go. Again, Tarasenko has just been scary this postseason, and Brian Elliott can steal a hockey game like no one else these playoffs, it seems. So definitely worried about either match. Not worried, but those are definitely concerns I would have if we did play the Blues. But I think, again, at the end of the day, I think this team is built to beat either of those teams. I think we're built to beat Nashville too. So we'll see how that goes. I have a Twitter question. What is worse? And this is from Slushy. What is worse, the World Cup of Hockey commercials or Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood, hands down.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll say as somebody who works in advertising, those World Cup of Hockey commercials are bad.
Yeah, but they still promote hockey. What does Carrie Underwood promote? Bad music.
Very hockey.
Hockey involving Mike Fisher.
It just means Mike Fisher's got bad taste in music and women.
Damn.
Wow.
Brutal.
Actually, because I live in the Great White North and I don't always get the commercials on my NHL TV, I actually had to Google these commercials to see how bad they were.
They are absolutely terrible. This guy is so smarmy. I mean, I think I could probably give him a good slap down. That's how big he looks. He looks maybe like he's 5'4". I could smack him around. But I don't like those commercials, but I really like it. Which is worse, Carrie Underwood.
Fair enough. I don't know if we've actually discussed this or not. What did you guys think of the results to the draft lottery? I'll start with Drew. Are you happy with who got the picks?
Well, I'm happy it's not Edmonton. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not upset that Toronto's getting this pick, and actually there's been a lot of conversation saying, like, you're going to have a top line of Austin Matthews, Nylander, and Mitch Marner, and that's going to be a top line of the ages, when they finally come of age. But yeah, I don't have much to say about the lottery. I mean, the fact that Toronto won the pick being last overall isn't a huge deal to me. Like I said, I'm just happy Edmonton didn't win.
Absolutely. Just a quick answer before I send it around the table here. Laurel, the 14 picks were the teams that weren't in the playoffs. They all go into the lottery. Everyone else will be sorted based on how they finish in the playoffs. I'm going to go to, I guess we'll go to Felix next.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I didn't really have much thoughts for Toronto winning the lottery, but I think this is going to be good for their future. I think, they have, they do have, a few good prospects, and I think this is definitely going to add to that prospect pool.
All right, Rocket.
Can I just say that I'm so glad that it did not go to Edmonton. If it would have gone to Edmonton, I'm pretty sure people in Toronto would have taken to the streets and set something on fire.
I kind of wanted to see Brian Burke shiv somebody. I think that his lucky charm that he wouldn't say he had was probably a shiv, and he was totally going to take. It out. I'm also disappointed that Boston didn't win the draft lottery, because that means that whoever drafted first overall is sending their player west, and maybe this time west is San Jose. But alas, they didn't win. I think you know what I don't like Toronto. Before the Sharks, I was a Habs fan, so I don't have a whole lot of love for Toronto. But I think they've been terrible long enough. They probably need some help, and I think they've got a good management team there that I think that they kind of deserve something nice to happen to them, so that they can try and get out of this mess. And basically, ever since Matt Sundin's left, they've been looking for a number one center. So the option now to draft Austin Matthews is just perfect for them, because even when they had Kessel, they just Tyler Bozak was his center, and nothing against Tyler Bozak. I mean, he's a good guy. He plays his heart out, but he's not a first line center in this league anywhere but Toronto. I think that I was happy to see. I like that the Jets moved up. Obviously, I always have a soft spot for the Jets. So seeing the Jets probably getting Patrick Laine, that's going to be silly for them. That's going to be another silly team, but it's a silly team in the Central, which is fantastic. And Columbus, I just want to see Columbus actually do something. They're in such a they're in such a weak conference now, like weaker conference in my opinion. I still think that more of the powers in the West than the East, and they could really do something in that conference, and probably getting Puljujarvi is going to be a huge boon for them, and they've got a pretty decent system coming up. So I like the draft lottery because we watched Edmonton and Vancouver get kicked to the 4-5 spots, and none of those, we don't have another top round pick coming to, first overall pick coming to the Pacific Division, which is fantastic. Connor McDavid's going to make our lives miserable enough at some point, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, no guys in the Pacific, 2 guys to the East, 1 guy in the Central. I can totally take that. I can take that every day.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Just Zachary saying how Columbus is talking about converting him to Puljujarvi to a center, which is I'd do it. Absolutely do it.
Has he played center before?
I don't know. I more watch I'm not gonna lie. My focus when I watch prospects is mostly the CHL. I don't get to watch a lot of European hockey as much as I would like to. Anyway, I mean, should I watch so much hockey already? I don't even know where I'd fit it in.
So much hockey.
Speaking of CHL hockey, I guess we will talk some some prospects here just to give you an update. So after 2 days, they finally finished Game 2 up in Quebec in Rouyn-Noranda, and they played the first period, and then they had some sort of water leak, and then they tried to fix the leak, and then they hit some cooling pipe, and they had to postpone the game to today, where they played period 2 and 3. And Timo Meier had 2 assists as the Huskies finished off the Shawinigan Cataracts, and they are now up 2-0 on that, looking for a berth into the Memorial Cup. So I will probably write something up tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see what's going on.
Again. The Honda's broken. I gotta take the Shawinigan. Sorry.
I tell you, I'm hoping Timo Meier really pans out. I mean, from what I've heard of what he's doing in juniors, he's going to do a great job, but I'm hoping that continues all the way through the NHL, whether or not he has to stop in the AHL first. I have high hopes for him, and hopefully it's not another first-round bust.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I'm really excited. I feel like I'm still excited for Goldobin, but I feel like Timo is maybe the more complete player of the two, although Goldobin, if they can just kind of, make sure that the Xbox controller doesn't get unplugged too often, I think he's going to be just fantastic as a scorer in this league. So I guess you know what? I feel like we're just kind of backpedaling here. So instead of trying to filibuster,
there is one thing. The new GM for Arizona.
Yes.
Good job.
Good call, Felix. Good call.
The show.
Yeah, thanks for making me feel like a fucking failure.
Yeah, I'm 36 right now. I'm unemployed, and I feel like a failure at life because there's a 26-year-old who is now, or 20-whatever-year-old,
right?
now running the Arizona Coyotes. What do you guys think of this, anyway?
Well, I got 5 years to become a GM, so
yeah.
Yeah,
my dad's like, so this kid is 26 and his GM is on a hockey team in the National Hockey League. Rocket, what have you done lately? Well, I made the carpet this month.
I'm curious to see how well he's going to do, and I'm actually really curious as to what his qualifications were. What do you bring to the table as a 26-year-old? Do you actually go up and be like, yeah, I won the cup as Arizona in NHL 16 5 times in a row or some shit? What do you say? What do you say to a president of a team?
You show him your Pokemon collection.
Felix, what you got?
What kind of silly question is that?
No, but I think this is an interesting move. Obviously, the team, I believe, did say that they did want to go into a more analytical direction, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
I like analytics.
Rocket?
Rocket, what?
What do you think of? Do you think he's going to try and trade Pikachu for Shea Weber?
Oh man, I don't know. It depends on what he's up against. He might try to trade it for Squirtle. You don't know. Dude, I don't know. Like you said, he's analytics and fresh blood. He's gonna do some crazy things, and he's probably gonna have 2 middle of the road ideas, 2 really just awful screwball left brain Area 51 ideas, and 1 genius thing that will change the franchise.
Yeah, I said this on TTG. I kind of went into a little soliloquy. I don't know. I said this thing and it lasted a really long time. I watched firsthand what Kyle Dubas did here in the Sioux, and I just, and when Kyle Dubas was hired here, I think he was 26 as well. And I granted there's a big difference between the OHL and the NHL. But I watched what he did here. He turned a team that sucked into a legitimate team. I think you need younger guys in the game. You need guys that think outside of the box. Sheldon Keefe was not going to get hired by the old boys club because he had been blackballed in the OHL, and then he never gets a look by the Leafs or anything else. Now, he got a look because somebody thought outside the box and didn't just stick to the old boys club, and now the Hounds were better for it. And I just feel like this could be good for Arizona. I think that the kid should get a chance. Maybe he will pull the Pikachu for a Shea Weber trade. We don't know, but yeah, I just at the end of the day, I think this kid should get a chance. I don't think that he should be just completely written off because of his age. I have a slushy thing here. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
All right, so Slushy says, since we picked 21st in the first round of the 2014 draft, we traded to pick 28th, and we missed Fabry and McCann. Would I take Fabry and McCann over Goldobin? Okay. At the time, I really wanted Jared McCann. And Fabry, obviously, very nice too. You know what, though? I kind of like that the Sharks kind of went for a boomer bust guy in Goldobin. They've spent a lot of time up until 2014 taking the safe guy, taking the guy that, you know, was kind of like, you know, the sure thing. And so now we have a system full of bottom six guys that are safe. And don't get me wrong, most of them are probably NHLers, but we don't have a lot of top end in our system. And so I think that I like the Goldobin pick for that reason.
I mean, I was okay with picking Goldobin, but I think really the Sharks' success in the draft has always come past the first round. You know, you got Pavelski, like, in 7th round? You got Nabokov in an insanely high round.
Yep.
You get Vlasic in round 2, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too worried about whether or not Goldobin's going to be better than those two. I'm more concerned about how the depth of the draft is going to pan out. And that 2014 draft is looking really good because you got Chartier, you got Sadoway, you got LeBlanc. You got a lot of good prospects in that draft beyond Goldobin who have a chance of doing some damage in this league.
Sorry, in the chat we have like Pokemon hockey player. So now we have Daniel Zubat, we have Zdeno Charizard,
Thomas Squirtle.
Thomas Squirtle.
Oh my god.
We need to do this more often. This is a good idea. We need to have a hashtag war in our chat.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is what this. I'm gonna host all the time from now on. This is the kind of quality you can
we don't need Puck Guy anymore.
Oh, you hear that, guys? You're all fired. Actually, you know what? Actually, while I'm on topic of firing absolutely really everyone, coming soon to Pucknology. Actually, I'm working on a new project because basically, after this season, so by the time next season rolls around, there's my Pucknology After Dark is gonna be very limited because God willing I'll be working, and God willing I'll be working a decent job with decent hours, so that I actually will need to sleep at night again. So basically, I know that you guys would miss me on After Dark, and I'm the whole effing show. So I decided that what I'm going to do is we're actually going to have a separate show that I'm starting, I don't know, soonish-ish? I don't know. It's probably once TTG goes bi-weekly. And it's basically going to be called the Pucknology Writers Room. And what we're going to do is, instead of being more of like TTG and obviously Pucknology After Dark being a post-game show, or really recappy, previewy, the idea behind the writers' room is going to be more of just like kind of an editorial approach where we're just going to talk, we're going to pick a topic and, or 2 or 3 and just kind of talk about those topics until we get bored. So probably be a weekly, bi-weekly thing. I don't know. We're still working out all the details, but it's definitely something that has been given the green light. There's interest from the writers to do it, so stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be awesome. And with that, I'm going to go for final thoughts from everybody before we all get the hell out of here and go to sleep. So I will start with Rocket.
Hi. Okay, so my name is Rocket Backhander. First and foremost, I'd like to say on the chat, yes, it is Michalik. That was the #1 draft pick of the year that Pavelski was drafted for the Sharks. That was who they drafted first, so good job. My name is Rocket Backhander. You can find me on the Twitters. Capital R, capital B, little Ackhander 76. Hockey stuff, shark stuff, general really acidic comments about people and humanity in general, and things that aren't Canadian, essentially. Then if you look on Instagram, I'm also taking photographs for teal tinted glasses under the teal tinted glasses. That's one word. On Instagram, you'll find fabulous pictures of bearded hockey players, lots of shots of Sharks Ice, Stanley's Bar upstairs, and teal happenings around San Jose. Check it out.
Felix.
Well, I'm gonna reiterate this one more time, but I thought tonight's game was awesome. Hope the Sharks kick ass again next game, and just keep doing it.
Drew.
Yeah, the same thing. I thought it was a great game. Anytime you put 4 past Pecorine and for some reason 1 past Carter Hutton, that's a good night out. So hopefully they can carry that into Game 6 and let's close the series out in Nashville.
Mario Lemieux too. That is fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
What?
Who said that? Give him a cookie.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
All right. Look, I'm Ian Reed. I do stuff. I talk stuff. I really enjoyed this game. I thought that the Sharks really. I got nervous. Like I said, I was like, oh man, they pulled me back in and then breaking my heart one more time. But nope, they came out tonight. They played a solid game as I've probably seen them play all season. I feel very confident going back to Nashville that they can end this thing. I feel very confident that if they don't end it in Nashville for whatever reason, that they can come home and win it in 7. I don't want to look too far ahead, but this is the series that I really want the Sharks to win because this is probably the most wide open the Sharks have ever had a run, because you look at a lot of the big dogs are out. We put out a big dog in the Los Angeles King. St. Louis put out the Blackhawks, and I don't think that St. Louis is invincible because they put out the Blackhawks. I think that they're definitely beatable. Will it be hard? Yeah, there's no easy path to the cup. And then you look in the East, and I think that other than Pittsburgh, I'm not really scared of anyone in the East either. I'm not afraid of Tampa. Maybe Tampa a little bit, but not really, because it depends on if they can, take enough steroids to get Stamkos and Strawman back, which I don't understand how these guys heal so damn quickly. It's ridiculous.
Drugs. It's drugs. They give him horse drugs.
It's got to be drugs.
It is
ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, look at this is the most wide open it's been. If the Sharks are going to win a cup, this is the year. This is the year they've got to do it. And I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm saying the window's never been more wide open for them to do it than this year. So, on behalf of Drew Weber, who is at Puck Over Glass with underscores in there, right? Felix Chow at Polter Puck, Rocket Backhander at big capital RB little Ackhander 76.
Yep.
And myself at I Read Pucknology, which you can see kind of at the bottom here beside my American Weasel. Thanks for taking care of. Thanks for coming and watching the show. Obviously, I know it wasn't exactly your usual lineup, so I hope that we entertained regardless. Make sure you check out our stuff on pucknology.net. Make sure you've heard the latest teal tinted glasses, and for all of us at Pucknology, the guys who aren't on, at PuckGuy14, at AJ Strong _Strong, at Chris JWS, at Jentry Alexander 46, at J Alexander 46. Sorry. Thank you and good night. And I'm going to try and find the stop button.